Hey guys, Kim here. Thank you so much for checking out my video. Today I'm going to be doing a straight pour with black background and some metallics. And I want to show you guys how you can make your metallics work for you. And you can get them to sell up really nicely for you if you mix them properly. And by properly, I mean to the right consistency. So these two paints here are both the Deco Art Texture, this turquoise and the teal green there. And you can see this is a really thick paint. So I've mixed these probably 2 parts, almost 3 parts Floetrol probably, to 1 part paint. And I just eyeballed these. I don't like to measure, as I'm sure if you guys have seen my videos before, I like to say that. I don't like to measure. But this is the consistency of just the Floetrol and paint. And I'm just going to add water to these. I'm not going to use fancy, expensive pouring medium. I'm not going to use super harsh chemicals because I don't like to use those. So this is just Floetrol paint and water. And I want to show you guys the effects you can get. So that color I just showed you is the Deco Art Amethyst. And this is the Pearl Golden Hour by Arteza. And that Pearl Golden Hour is not going to sell up like these Deco Art metallics you're going to see when I show you the close-up here. But we'll get to that later. So I'm just going to show you guys the best way to mix your paints is to just kind of eyeball things, and as you get more comfortable, you're going to kind of know what it should look like. So I'm just going to put water in slowly a little bit at a time, mix it, and check the consistency. And this is what I normally do when I'm mixing up my paints, whether it's for a pearl pour, straight pour, ring pour, whatever it is. So you can see here that it's definitely thinner, but not quite where I want it to be. So I want it to be leaving just a little bit of a mound. It's not quite just going straight into the cup, but just a little bit of a mound. And my black paint, which I'm going to use as my background, and I'm going to pour a little bit in the cup too, is going to be a little bit thinner than the metallics, which should give enough contrast, because that's usually how you get cells, is you have different densities and different paint consistencies, and you're going to have different colors popping up to the top, or if your paint is thinner, sinking over it. So that's probably about where we want the paints to be. So just a little bit of a mound there. I'm going to mix up the other paints the same exact way, just adding water until they look like that, and we'll get to the pouring. So let me get the canvas up, and I will see you guys in just a moment. Alright, so I've got my canvas already coated in the Artist Loft Acrylic Flow Black, which I mentioned is just a little bit thinner than my metallic colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit of the black in the bottom of the cup, just so it's a little more cohesive. When I pour it, I kind of like the background color to be the last thing that comes out. I'm just gonna pull this bug out of here because I always get a bunch of those when I'm in the garage. That's why I have to move my paintings when they dry. I made the mistake of leaving one out here overnight, and I ended up with 5 gnats in it. So that one went in the trash. So I'm just gonna pour, and I'm sorry it's hard to see from the above angle here, but I'm gonna pour all of my paints kind of high, just so they all mix in a dirty cup, as we call it here. And I'll show you guys after I get them poured in that they're already kind of starting to cell up and react with each other, which is what you want to see happen. So I'll go ahead and speed this part up, and we'll get to the pouring. Alright, so you can see here that the paints are already just kind of reacting together, which is a good sign. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour this right in the middle, and I like to pour it a little bit closer to the canvas if you can. I like to have the paints, when it's already a dirty cup, I don't like them to mix anymore, usually. so I'll pour them closer to the canvas so they don't mix as much. So the higher up you pour it, they seem to mix more as they hit that canvas. So we'll just get all the paint out of the cup that we can here, and I probably have more paint than I need for this size canvas, which is what I usually like to do so I don't have to over tilt things. Because with the base, I think I probably have about at least 10 ounces in the cup alone of paint, and this size canvas should probably only need about 12 or 12.5 ounces, so this is plenty of paint. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to torch this really well, because I want cells to start coming up before I tilt it, because I'm going to kind of stretch them a little bit here. So you can kind of see stuff starting to pop up already, which is, again, a good sign. Metallics are usually always a pretty good bet to get some decent cells. So I'll go ahead and speed the rest of this section up, but I'm just going to torch this at least another time or two before I tilt it. And I'm going to tilt it kind of slow. Just bring the weight back to the center of the canvas each time before you go to a new corner, so that way it keeps its shape a little bit. It's still going to get stretched out, but it's not going to be just kind of all weird looking. So I'll go ahead and speed this part up, and I will see you guys for the close-up. Alright guys, here's the finished painting. This is probably about 20 minutes after I poured it, and you can see those deco art metallics just really celled up beautifully here. So I've got a little bit of the pearl Arteza up in there, but the pearl colors definitely don't cell up like the deco art ones. That amethyst is usually a powerhouse in terms of creating cells. As you can see here, that purple just took over, which I love purple, so I'm okay with it. But these cells are just so awesome. The metallics, they always look kind of 3D and bumpy, which is cool. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. If you liked it, please hit that thumbs up for me. It really helps my video on my channel get some traction. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button as well. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.